The investigation into Flight 370 is focused on the two men in the cockpit. Aviation experts say someone with experience would have to be at the controls for the plane to follow the course investigators think it took. Keith Wolfsinger is a commercial airlines pilot.
Reprogram the route in the computer. Obviously, pilots are trained to do this. General public is not. So someone who would have done this on that flight would have had to have a lot of knowledge about the operation of the system.
CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg is with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Nora.
A lot of new tantalizing details this morning. First, the fact that this westward turn of the aircraft was programmed into the onboard flight computer before the pilot said goodbye.
What's really frustrating to the investigators is that they don't have that much evidence to work with, and the timeline keeps changing. But let's assume that this is the correct sequence of events. Most pilots don't fly the planes these days. They monitor systems. So from about 5 minutes into the flight till about 25 minutes before you land, they're monitoring the system. That's the inertial navigation system, which we're talking about, the INS. It's a series of waypoints that are pre-programmed in before they ever take off. It's like a roadmap.
Yeah, but if he was going west and then he never said anything, he still had verbal communications and then said goodbye. Is this everything's okay?
And what that means is that someone in that cockpit, we don't know who, someone in that cockpit manually, deliberately, intentionally reprogrammed that keyboard to make that left-hand turn.
So Peter, we have so many gaps in all these potential theories here. What in everything that's happened in the recent days do you find most intriguing?
The altitude fluctuations. Going from up to 45,000 feet, which is 5,000 feet above the actual operational limits of the plane, down to 23,000 feet. Now there may be stories that they've even gone down as low as 2,000 feet. Someone was manually flying that plane. They were hand flying the plane because once you take off the transponder, once you pull the circuit board for the ACAR system, you're essentially an unidentified flying object. You're flying it manually with no visual reference points in the dark to a destination we don't know where it was.
And what does that suggest, if anything?
To me, it suggests that there's some kind of scuffle in the cockpit, some kind of struggle for control, and then somebody did what they did like in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, took the yoke and put it down.
All right, but we know about this home flight simulator that this pilot had. News this morning from the Malaysians that files may have been deleted. An additional report that what they might have found on there includes practicing on 5 different runways that are in that area. Does that raise a red flag or something you might just normally practice?
Not to me. Pilots love their simulators. They practice on multiple airports, multiple approaches, and multiple runways. Most flight simulators can give you airports all around the world. Pilots love to try to practice that because they never know where they're going to go to those places.
Do you think this plane could be on land somewhere?
Boy, I don't think it's another episode of Lost. I really don't. I really don't. I'm not trying to be funny about it. I just can't conceive how this plane could have done that with the technology and the assets that we have for heat signatures and all sorts of other geo tracking to not find that plane right now. The real problem is, and this is one of the scenarios they're looking at, this plane could be in the bottom of the Indian Ocean at a depth so deep that we may never find it.
And the battery for that pinger is running out.
18 days, right?
Yeah.
But even if it wasn't running out, it's so deep that the pressures at that level, at the ocean, could crush everything.
Right. All right, Peter Greenberg, thank you very much.